Hi, let's take a look at your professional leadership resume. Your resume is the digital or in-paper handshake, if you will, with your interviewer, with your potential employer. And we want for this resume to stand out and above the hundreds of other resumes that they're going to look at. How do we do that? That's what this video is all about. We're going to use a colleague's video who just recently took this course and look specifically at its construct. First of all, its overall look, and then we'll get into all of its component parts. We're going to make distinctions about languaging and placement that will, if you choose to embed these into your leadership resume, they will help it to stand out. So let's get busy. All right, name, address, phone number at the top, that's great. People tend to do a couple different things with your phone number, right? We could do the mobile number, we could do the home number, we could do both numbers. The number you'll want to put on your resume is the one that you want them to call so that you'll be able to know as quickly as possible when they call and you could get right back to them. Sometimes it's a timing game when it comes to hiring. This next section called profile. It's often called outcome or objective. Here we just call it a profile. And notice the languaging in this paragraph. I'll read it all first and then we'll take a look at specific aspects of it. Dedicated and student-focused future administrator committed to providing an engaging learning experience for all students. Committed to collaborating with all members of the school community to contribute to the success of students, successful and creative in developing a productive and engaging school culture. You want your opening 2 or 3 sentences to capture someone's attention and to say at the end of it, I got to know more about this person. Let's dig a little deeper. Dedicated, committed, successful. Right off the top, I know 3 things about this candidate. Dedicated, committed, and successful. Now let's look a little deeper. Student-focused, one of the characteristics of her philosophy. Future administrator, committed to providing an engaging learning experience for all students. The name of the game these days is all means all. So that little word will catch people's attention and say, we're going to have a conversation with this candidate about what they mean by all. Committed to collaborating with all members of the school community. I appreciate in this one that they did not use the word stakeholder. Stakeholder, great word. People understand it immediately what we mean by it. Doesn't communicate a sense of relationship, though. Here, all members of the school community highlights that the philosophy here is one of the school being a community of everybody working together and contribute to the success of all students. Creative in developing productive and engaging school culture. So what do we have? We have student focus, we've got engaged experience for all students, we've got this collaborating with all members of this community. We have being creative and develop productive and engaging school culture. That is a great way to open a resume. Leadership platform. This is not required in your leadership professional leadership resume. It's nice to put in there because, again, it gives this broad overview to the reader about what's important to you. And that'll get developed in an upcoming challenge on your leadership platform. Here's what this resume says. Leaders create a welcoming atmosphere of encouragement, motivation, and compassion in the school setting. As leaders, we must always maintain the focus. The purpose of educating our children is not necessarily to create scholars, but to create a love for learning. I read that and I think to myself, if this person actually believes that and can demonstrate some competency, some savviness, if you will, about accomplishing that, I want to know more about them. Good chance I want them on my leadership team. Highlight now leadership skills. Again, not necessary in every resume. And again, what is useful about it is it just pulls out 3 to 4 bullet statements of here are the attributes that I want you to know about me as a leader. Let's take a little bit closer look, right? Builds, fosters, solves, engages, advocate. So what do I build as a leader? Positive relationships. Why? So that people feel supported and empowered. What else do I do as a leader? I foster team building. How do I do that? Effective collaboration skills. I want to solve problems and I want to do it proactively, and yeah, I was thinking of another word like creatively, because I was just thinking about that word from earlier. Engages in IEP meetings. At first I read that and went, just IEP meetings? But then what it communicated to me was, this person understands the importance of special ed, the importance of those meetings. Previously, this candidate referenced all students, so already I'm getting an indication, all means all, including special ed students as well. Team decision making, right? Project development, and an advocate for arts and learning. Leadership experience. Now, in a normal resume as an educator, we often talk about our teaching experience, and we approach it from a chronological standpoint usually. That's why most resumes will have like education, right toward the beginning. We're going to save that to the end. This is your professional leadership resume. We want to highlight you as a leader. What have you done? What can you do? What do you stand for? So let's take a look at leadership experience section. Here, broken up by the different types of leadership experiences that she's had. The instructional leadership team, she's been an administrative designee, professional learning community facilitator, kindergarten level chair or grade level chair, right? And she's on the Pasadena Educational Foundation as a lead teacher for a particular summer. Again, let's look a little bit closer. What is going to help this resume stand out from all the others? We're right here now at the instructional leadership team, collaborated with faculty, guided kindergarten grade level meetings. All right, we could stop right there. That's what everybody else does. They stop right there. We don't want to do that. We want to add the purpose, the reason, the results. Like what happened because we did that thing, right? This is just not a checklist of to-dos, of functions and roles that we have done, but instead we want to highlight that we did this and here was a result. I did this, here's the outcome. Let's take a look at this resume. Collaborating with faculty, developing solution to school matters. Collaboration for what reason? Develop solutions. Second, guiding kindergarten grade level meetings. Why? To implement effective teaching strategies. That little phrase right there lets me know this candidate has some sort of internal rubric, right, about what's effective and what's not effective. And I just don't guide my grade level meetings just for the sake of getting stuff done. No, we do it so we can implement effective teaching strategies. Let's see what is also in this resume. Let's go under administrative designee. Let's take a look at the first parts. Executed administrative duties, successfully provided administrative guidance and advice, and effectively implemented discipline. Let's take a look at these. In the first one, it doesn't include this why or this purpose. Not every bullet statement needs to. Let's take a look at the next one. Successfully provided administrative guidance and advice during IEPs as the administrative designee. Okay, let's see what the third one says. Effectively implemented discipline, proactively initiated parent contact, and maintained a safe and respectful school environment. Again, does every bullet have to have this reason, this purpose, this why, this result? No. And the ones we put in there, again, we are highlighting who we are as a leader, what we stand for, and what we've done to prove or to showcase that that's what we believe. So in bullet 3 here, it's to maintain a safe and respectful school environment. I want somebody on my team who can do that. Let's highlight just a couple more here. Professional learning community facilitator. What does that mean? What have you done? Guided bits of teachers. Okay, we could stop right there. But again, why? We want to showcase what we have done as a leader. And leaders do things like share best practices. Mentored and observed and planned with bits of teachers. Again, could stop right there. Why do we do that? For successful observations. This person has a heart of helping other people to be their best. All right. You might be getting the point right about here, right? We want the next level up. The one that's going to distinguish us from all the rest of the resumes. And what does that, among many things, but one critical part of that is that we not just tell what it is we did, but we added what was the outcome, what was the result. All right, I think you got the point on that. Let's see the other larger chunks of this resume. Teaching experience comes next. Again, highlighting, here's what I did. It provided some instruction for students in reading, etc. And then here were committees. Perhaps you were on a committee, district level committee, a grade level committee. Maybe you did something on the summer, some sort of curriculum design meeting. Maybe you were designing assessments. All of those things, although we functioned as a teacher in that environment, in that function, though, you were doing something that showed you being a leader, collaborated, guided, suggested ideas, gathered or brought together a team to solve a problem. On page 3, education. And we did this from the most recent accomplishment, and that's the one we want to hit. And this one, we'll definitely want to make sure that your administrative credential is highlighted right up top. Some people like to put the date. I think with the administrative credential, to know that you have that, and they actually know that you did it, right? That the date is useful. Sometimes people leave off the date or the year. It helps. Some people are a little, what I want to say, conscientious about age. And so they'll leave off the date just so that people can't calculate the age of the person. Now, we all know that there's no discrimination against age, and it tends to be some people's bias. So that's up to you. I always went ahead and put the dates. I figured if they could figure out that I was 28 years old or 23 years old or 45 years old, well, they could do their math, and maybe that led some credibility. So really, it's up to you. And then followed at the very end of the resume is 2 to 3 references. Name obviously the person, their position, their contact information. It was interesting, one of the references that this candidate put forward is this reference right here. Yes, a first grade teacher, but notice what she put in there as well. A teacher of excellence, 2013. I'm thinking, okay, if I have someone on my resume who's going to be my reference and they are a teacher of excellence, they probably have some criteria about what excellence is. And if they said, yes, I'll be your reference, I'm thinking they could talk to my excellence as well. Just throwing that one in the resume. Well, there's a quick overview of your professional leadership resume. It starts with your outcome or objective or a profile. You can throw some statements in about your leadership platform if you'd like. Follow it up with 2 or 3 strong leadership skills that you have. And then as you go through your leadership experience and chunk it in the way that makes sense, most recent to ones that you've done prior to that. And remember, the most important thing, not just what it is you did, but the outcome you got or that you were moving toward, the result that you were aiming toward when you were doing that particular function. We follow leadership experience by teacher experience, then any special things like committees you were on, and followed up by your education, and then finally your resume. I look forward to working with you on your professional leadership resume. It is your second first impression, perhaps. Perhaps it's your first impression. Nonetheless, the screening process of hiring candidates has become very, very competitive. And when they look at your resume, they're going to want to look at it and after the first page say, I have got to meet this person because this person could possibly be on my leadership team and do great things for kids.